So our text that I like to talk from is in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 11. So I swear in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the idea of rest and the importance of it. Um, there's a passage, there's a scripture I came across, or a way of looking at this particular passage of scripture some years ago that I'd like to share with you. So if you go back to the creation story in Genesis, you have the 7 days of creation. The last thing that God does on the sixth day is that He creates man, and then the seventh day, as you know, is a day of rest. Is where God institutes the Sabbath. And if you're not careful, when you think about that, you'll think about the relationship between work and rest. Is that you work, and then there's a period of rest. But if you look at it from man's point of view, of what happened there, he was created, and then the very next day he enters into what is called God's rest. So from man's perspective, life starts, work starts, or prior to work, you enter into God's rest, and only after engaging into God's rest are you then able and ready to walk into the things that God has called you to. When I look at this text in Hebrews and what the Hebrews writer it's saying from God's perspective, he's talking about the children of Israel. He's talking about all of us as extension of that we have the opportunity into entering in God's rest if we live a life of obedience, if we walk by faith, if we do the things that God has called us to. A part of that journey begins with entering into His rest. We're in a season right now where I believe that so many of us are tired, so many of us are exhausted, we're anxious, we feel overwhelmed, maybe we feel burned out at work, maybe we feel just overwhelmed with the things that are happening in our family and our personal lives, and you're looking for rest for yourself. My encouragement to you is to look towards God and look to enter into His rest and enjoy the rest that He has set aside for you, because only by entering into His rest, by walking that walk of faith, will you really have the things that you need in order to be able to walk effectively in the things that God has called you to be. I hope this has been a blessing to you, and I hope it ministers to you. May God bless you and God keep you. Thank you.